is the Magnate.
Hello, you're welcome to this week's edition of the Magnate. Today we shall be focusing on how financially literate that you are. Remember, the Magnate is a program that parades mentors, professionals, veterans from diverse backgrounds. I'm so excited today because I have another professional in the studio. And guess what? Somebody of my gender, a professional to the core. In fact, fellow of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria that has traversed the corporate body, blue chip company, and a big giant in Nigeria that have been here over the years. Retired now, but definitely not tired. Who are we talking about as our guest on the Magnate today? Let's give you her citation. When we come back, you can't resist the interactive session. We'll be back shortly.
Mrs. Muhibat Omobolanle Abbas is a non-executive director of CAP PLC and Leonon Investment Services. She retired as acting chief financial officer of UACN PLC after managing the UACN Pension Fund for 12 years. She holds a BSc Business Administration degree from University of Lagos, Akoka. She is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. She also attended numerous courses, both locally and internationally, including the IMD Global Board Center, Switzerland, Astrid Strategic Management College, United Kingdom, and the Lagos Business School. Mrs. Abbas has worked as accountant in several divisions of UACN PLC, Commercial Director, Board Park Premier Packaging Division of UACN, Commercial Director, GBO MDS Division of UACN, Commercial Director, UAC Foods Division of UACN, Finance Director, Company Secretary, CAP PLC, Group Treasurer, UACN PLC, before retiring as Acting Chief Financial Officer in 2019. As part of our humanitarian activities and in a bid to continuously give back to the society, Mrs. Muhibat Abbas is a member of the Board of Trustees of Criterion, an association of women in business and professions. She is a widow who was married to an astute lawyer and administrator, Alhaji Abdusalam Tunde Abbas, and the union is blessed with many children and grandchildren.
Welcome back. The program is the Magnate. Today, I have the pleasure to welcome to the studios of Ames Media Company Limited, Mrs. Muhibat Omobolanle Abbas. You're welcome to the program, huh?
Thank you very much.
She is retired from UAC, but definitely not tired, a fellow of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. You're welcome again.
Thank you very much.
Today, we are going to be talking about the financial literacy of the general public. I mean, we expect that in spite of the economy hardship and all that, people should be able to be prudent with their finances. So what do you think we should understand about financial literacy as a fellow of astute chartered accountant?
Well, financial literacy encompasses the body of knowledge of creation of wealth, sustaining that wealth by growing it, then accounting for it, and creating a legacy for the future. So there are various ways of creation of wealth, depending on your own area of passion. So you can use your passion, build on your passion to create wealth. You can leverage on those around you to create capital. Then you also learn about entrepreneurship, okay, so that the little money you create, you don't squander it. Then you avoid waste. And even prudence is very good. But in accounting parlance, we always talk of growing the revenue because
reinvesting the
money. Exactly, grow the revenue. Because no matter how you manage, if the base is not big enough, you are still not there. Okay. So you think of various ways of growing your revenue base. If you are a professional like I was, you can have some passive.
Still one.
Yes, yes. I'm not no longer. If you are in a corporate institution like I was, you can have a means of having passive income. Having passive income means you are not physically there, but you are still making money.
You are earning.
Yes, you are earning. Okay. You may not be physically there. We have what we call private equity. Okay. Some small companies, that need capital. You can look for trusted people to give your capital to. They manage it and they give you.
They grow the money for you.
Yes, they grow the money for you. They invest it. Like MTN. When MTN came to Nigeria, it was a private company. It was private equity. And those who invested in MTN then, they really they made huge money because it was in dollar.
Well, a good brand.
It was a good brand.
Okay.
And there are so many even small companies that are good brands today that people are not aware of. There are tech companies. There are even food businesses. So if you have a place, trusted people you can leverage on to grow your wealth,
reinvest it,
then you must have something that is creating money for you.
Okay.
Because when you retire, like I'm retired now, I have trained my son. We have a financial advisory company, and he's running the show. I'm just behind to give him support.
Interesting. Okay, it's interesting that you talked about your son. How early do you think we should start building this financial literacy on our children? You remember those days when I was growing up, we were taught this little box that you put some savings.
Yes.
How early
as
do you
early
think
as possible. Like I would tell anybody, from primary school, I've had that kolo. My mom was into food stuff, and she didn't have any store in the market because my father didn't believe in women having stall in the market. So she was selling from the home. But we were, then logistic was not in vogue, but we were logistic people. We help her to supply. And when we supply, they give us thorough. We put it in our kolo, and during a few days to eat, she will open it for us, and you will buy something of your choice. She won't dictate what you will use that money for. So there are various ways. And my own children, right from age 15, I've been buying shares for them.
Okay.
Rather than give them birthday present. So on their birthday, I will tell them I've bought shares for you. So I was buying the shares for them. And my daughter, when she was in 400 level in the university, used the proceeds of her share to buy a car then, yes.
Wow.
I just gave her a little money to support it because I was a fund manager, so I monitor the market. So as I'm monitoring the market, I'm investing for my children. So I taught them right from youth to invest. And I assist them. I open accounts for them, and I assist them to get good stock.
Proper investment.
Yes, I teach them to do that.
Okay, so you have heard it is Magnate. You are being mentored. You want to emulate that. Okay, now let's go to the next. I think you have done so well in the area of investing your children and teaching them financial literacy. Do you think that a lot of people should also take up this idea of studying bookkeeping in secondary school? Should it be a subject that everybody should, really acquire so that they know about, right from that level, they know about being financially literate?
Funny enough, I didn't do bookkeeping in secondary school. I was in the science class.
You still studied business?
I still did, because I did economics. So not necessarily bookkeeping. I did economics because I went to a comprehensive school. So in a comprehensive school, you have the, what do I call it now? The flexibility of combining arts with science.
Social science.
Yes, social science. So I did economics, and it was in the university I did a little of accounting. But there's a way, if there is for science students, it may be difficult for, they have so many subjects to do. But they have what they call general studies.
Oh, yes.
So they can embed all this knowledge of economics and bookkeeping in the general studies. And not necessarily to take it as
a course subject.
And there are so many books nowadays on financial literacy, really, that even these children, they can even
learn it on their own.
But the important thing is for the parents or the guardian to guide them to that line. What are you doing during your holidays? You shouldn't waste your time. My father will always ask you, what have you achieved today? What betide you if you have not
if you don't have anything to say.
So you guide them at least maybe 2 hours of reading. So on a day, do something. And there are so many books to read. There is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Even there is a version for teenagers. So all these books to develop their leadership skill, their financial literacy skill, the parents has a lot to do.
Okay, very well said. From what you have said, there's no disparity, there's no discrimination as to who you should teach financial literacy between male and female. Why I asked that question earlier? You know, lately when you have to run a business, like you said, most of your children are self-employed. There's an element of what is called financial management, even for a CEO. Yes. You understand? That's why the question of learning bookkeeping ab initio, so that by the time you start learning how to run a business, you are literate about it financially.
Well, when I was in USC, there is this course, Finance for Non-Financial Managers.
Managers, yes.
They send, once they see the leadership quality in you, they send you for a training, Finance for Non-Financial Managers. And there is Lagos Business School. Once you are an entrepreneur, there are courses you should take. Because even the elementary bookkeeping which you have learned in the secondary school may not be enough to serve you. Managing economic risk is very critical. Risk, especially understanding your economy, like our economy is volatile. So knowing the risk you face is even more critical than bookkeeping. Because there are a lot of foreign exchange risk.
That is not even safe to even keep money in the bank.
So there are so many risks. What I will advise every entrepreneur, even if you're a lawyer, you still need to understand
the finances.
Your finances. You may have a professional running it, but you as the owner of the business, you should be able to read financial statement. So all these things, they are not rocket science again. You can do little online courses that will stand you in great stead. So it's not only bookkeeping, you have to understand the risk you are exposed to. You have to understand the economy where you are playing and the global trend in the whole world so that you know how to push your business to get the best.
Very well said. You know, as a chartered accountant, you have related with a lot of both genders. From your own experience, who do you think is more prudent, the male or the female? Don't be biased as a female.
I'm not biased. It's neither here nor there, really. It's neither here nor there. Financial literacy is not gender sensitive. Depends on, one, your upbringing and your exposure. Although men, they are bullish in creation of wealth, and they are under a lot of pressure by the economy and the family, and they are more in leadership position. So we get to hear of their own misadventures. We also have incidences of women who have been
found wanting.
We had 2 ministers that at least I was privy to in the newspapers. So I'm not a statistician. I cannot relate it and do the correlation. But I believe that women being close to the children, if there is scarce resources,
they manage more.
They know how to manage the scarce resources, at least knowing that they don't want their children to go hungry, they don't want the family to go hungry. So at least they know how to put 2 and 2 together to make sure that everybody is eating. But in the terms of corruption, I don't think it's gender sensitive. It's your exposure, your moral attitude, and your level of integrity, and working on being able to control yourself, even if you have vast resources at your disposal.
You know why I ask that question? You know, sometimes they will say the women, they are very extravagant. You wear like your dress now, everything has to match, cost money. Some will also say, some are so prudent that that's housekeeping money. Some have even been known to build houses from their savings.
Like I said earlier on, there was an incident, a relative of mine came to report his wife. He gave the woman school fees for their children, and she misappropriated it. And the man was so pained because he said, "Mommy, I didn't go to school. I want these children educated. Look at what their mommy is doing to me." So that is a woman, a mother. Whereas this man is struggling, he wanted the children to go. But we also have men who don't care. They would rather go to clubs than
Care for their family.
care for their families. So I think this thing is neither here nor there.
Depends on
It's just the orientation and
Yes.
upbringing.
Interesting. The Magnate is the program, mentoring on television. I hope you have been mentored so far. We are chatting with Mrs. Muhibat Omobolanle Abbas, retired Chief Financial Controller of UAC. She also was the head of the pension manager. She has spent, I think she spent well over 30 years in that company. So very much well qualified. Fellow Institute of Chartered Accountant of Nigeria. Let's go for a short break. The conversation continues. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. The Magnate is the program, mentoring on television, lending a voice to the growth of your business. And I'm sure Mrs. Abbas has done that very much for you today. We are mentoring on TV. You're welcome back to the program again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the insights you have provided. I have learned a lot, particularly in
welcome.
the area of investment. Don't keep your money idle. Let's look at your post-retirement life now.
Okay.
You've been retired now for 3, 4, 5 years?
4 years.
4 years, good. And you're still looking very agile and so what have you been up to? Considering the fact that your humanitarian activities is top-notch. I see you every now and then lending a voice to the body called the Criterion. You are a member of the BOT. You know, how do you think the humanitarian activities of the Criterion has really kept you busy?
My retirement plan had always been to devote my time to mentoring and giving back to the society. And I've been doing that through the Criterion. The Criterion is a Muslim organization, a Muslim NGO formed about 40 years ago to add value to society by mentoring the women, empowering women and children, and also giving to the less privileged. That is the correctional centers, old people's homes, hospitals, and then visit to schools. Then we're also investing in education because education is very key to eradication of poverty. So we believe that quality education is very, very important for our children and even for the middle-aged people, for the market women. We try what we can to educate them and bring them up to speed.
You know, what interests me is sometimes your activities in the area of contributes to the national polity, particularly in the choice of the topics that you, from both at the national level and the state level, I mean, as a BOT member, you encompass, you know, the national, you know, you have topics that, you know, contribute to the national development of Nigeria. Is that your core?
Yes, we do. We recently had a conference in Ilorin which addressed the role of women in building peace in the country. And it was very, very well addressed that women have a lot of role to play in order to have peace in the country, bring up children that are emotionally intelligent and submit to their husband, support their husband so that he can have peace of mind to create wealth for the family, and then bring up emotionally stable children that will not tarnish the image of the country or the image of the family. So the roles, they were properly addressed. We had erudite speaker who spoke on the role of women in upbringing of children, the role of women in being submissive wife, and even in supporting their husbands in creation of wealth. That was in November.
Yes. One other aspect is the humanitarian aspect. You go to prisons, you go to correctional homes, you know, to dole out gifts. Shouldn't that be the duty of government? What's your business with prison?
You can, you know, we do dawa. Dawa is knowledge sharing, Islamic knowledge sharing.
Okay.
You can't just go there and share knowledge and not share something, some palliative. So we share knowledge about Islam. Islam is peace, and Islam enjoins us to give sadaqah. So rather than giving sadaqah on the road and that is not focused, we believe in focus gifts. So we focus our gifts on those correctional centers quarterly. When we go to share knowledge with them and pray with them, we also give palliatives to them to support the government in the welfare of the inmates. We also do this also in hospital. We go to hospital to pray for them, give them words of encouragement. We also give some palliatives as our own contribution to the welfare of those in the hospital and to support the government in whatever they are doing. We also do market dawa, what we call rural dawa. We go to the interland. Evangelism, depending on what they want.
Okay.
So we've contributed boreholes in some communities. In some communities, we have helped to renovate their schools. In some communities, we have donated books and things like that. In some communities, we even give knowledge. That is, we support them in teaching. Where they don't have enough teachers, we have volunteers. Where we have volunteers who take them up. So we do all these things.
Okay. What has your role as a woman leader? Criterion is all about women. It's an association of women in businesses and professions. As a corporate guru, what value have you added to the leadership of the Criterion?
In my own little way, I have added my knowledge. I was once the treasurer through financial secretary. Then I started the cooperative. After attending a seminar on this Grammy Bank in Bangladesh, that they were able to grow, we thought of having a cooperative. And being Muslims, we are not supposed to pay usri or take it. So I had this idea that we should form a cooperative. So we have a cooperative.
So it was your brain idea?
It was my idea. It was my idea. And I'm still the president till date. And we started it more than 13 years ago. So we contribute and we give loans to those who needed to develop their business. Entrepreneurs. Interest-free loan. All they pay is the administrative fee.
Okay, so because that cooperative has more or less really empowered a lot of members.
Yes, a lot of members. It's very important. It's interest-free loan. When interest is going for 27% to 30% now, if you're a member, you can still get interest-free loan. You can get double what you have contributed.
Interesting. Well done. You have really added value to the society.
Thank you very much.
Now, the seminar is just around the corner. The topic again is more on leadership and followership. What has informed that as a BOT member?
Well, we have looked at Nigeria the way we are going. People are always saying our problem is leadership. Our problem is leadership. But the leader will come from the follower.
Exactly.
So it is your leader will come from you. So, and Allah has said that if the people don't change what is in them, He is not ready to change it for them. So if the followership is also good leaders will come out from the followers. So we are looking at the leadership aspect, what they have to do to deliver. If they do what they are supposed to do, we, the followers, we must do what we need to do.
To comply.
Because it is each family unit that will make the country. So if each family is good, then it's likely the state is good. If the state is good, it's likely the nation is good. So we just thought that we should address it from both ends so that at least we can get a good result. Most children are going abroad now. And who will take care of us in our old age? So we need to keep some of them back home. And for them to stay, we have to make the environment, the country to be conducive. Their needs have to be met.
Okay. In your citation, very solemn and moments, you pardon me, you were married to a daddy, barrister at law, Haji Abdusalam Abbas. I just want you to share this moment so that others in your shoes can also learn on your coping mechanism. It was a pillar of support for you all through your sojourn in the corporate world. Unlike men who say, come and sit at home, don't do anything. You understand? Okay. Have you been coping, and what do you share with us?
I thank God for the life of my husband. He really made serious impact in my life. He taught me the beauty of Islam and the beauty of Quran. And when I was going through his papers, I found out something. He said the best gift a man can do is to prepare his wife for widow. I didn't see it during, it was when I was going through his, and he did that. He was my cheerleader. There were several times I had planned to retire from. I did more than 35 years in USA. When I did 10 years, I said I was going to resign. I said, Madam, why now? That's a good place to work. They are not harassing you. I say, no. After 10 years, I need to move. So he was my pillar of support, my cheerleader. He was always encouraging me to be better. And he was always buying leadership books. As he's teaching me Quran, he's teaching me about he was teaching me about leadership. So he was a very, very good pillar of support to me.
Sure you miss him?
I do. But I hold on to the Quran because he even told me, said, we will be all right.
You are a mentor to so many people. Those from what he has taught you, you have also mentored a lot of people, including serving senators of the Federal Republic. So is that fulfilling for you?
Yes, very fulfilling. I thank God that in our community, we're able, and that is our goal, is to make an impact.
Any final words to women, particularly those in leadership positions?
Well,
share your thoughts.
My thoughts to the people in leadership position is that we must lead by example. We must mentor those around us to create as many leaders as possible so that when we are not there, the company will still be running and the country will be running. We support them. We are the backbone. We lead by example. We create wealth, sustain the wealth, and we support our men so that they can continue to lead us in the right way. Thank you.
We call her Auntie Bola. I saved that to the end.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Muhibat Omobolanle Abbas, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm
sure you have a mentor today. It's been the Magnate. The only way you can watch another mentor, another veteran, another magnate on this program is to stay tuned. Same time next week, we shall bring you an equally cerebral personality to share thoughts with you. Until then, bye for now.